Hello, greetings and salutations and all that jazz. It is your boy Bernard. Welcome to another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast. I have no idea why I changed up the intro. My brain just did that at the last minute for some odd reason, but I am here to talk to you about all the nerdy things that have caught my eye this week. So, a franchise that literally hit its 30th, will hit its 30th anniversary this summer. Scream. Just ain't stopping. So, Scream 8 has officially been greenlit. Then Scream 7 made over $200 million at the box office. And Deadline reported that Lila and Nora Zuckerman, who were showrunners on the Peacock series Poker Face, who also worked on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Fringe, and Suits, will be writing the screenplay for Scream 8. We have no idea who will be directing this, if Kevin Williamson will be back to direct, but, I think that was his first time directing with Scream 7, and he cut a lot of stuff that could have filled in some plot holes, and everyone's saying the deleted scenes kind of fill in those plot holes. But, I really hope that the next one is good. Well, better than 7, because 7 was okay. It wasn't horrible, but, these things happen. So, no idea when that's coming out, but it is rumored to be maybe sometime in 2028. But I don't know. I'm guessing maybe 2029 or late 2028. My next story is in regards to something that I donated to. It's like the one time I actually caved in and did a Kickstarter. Legend of the White Dragon. Movie done by Jason David Frank, collaborating with Bat and the Sun. This movie has been delayed multiple times. Bat and the Sun said it was supposed to come out for JDF's 50th birthday last year. It didn't. So now, Well-Go Entertainment, Well-Go USA, whatever they're called, has basically picked up the distribution rights for this, and he said that it will hit theaters on August 28th, aka Power Rangers Day. So, in a statement, CEO Dolores, I have no idea how to say this last name, but I am going to butcher it. Is Fardrescher called it a true privilege to bring a special film to audiences across North America. White Dragon not only delivers the thrilling sci-fi action fans crave, but also celebrates the life and legacy of Jason David Frank, who means so much to so many. And that is true. I met the man, I believe, 5 times. I would have to look at the tribute that I posted on the day of his passing to get an exact count. 2021, 2022, I want to say 2014, 2016, 2017. I feel like there's another one in there. But yeah, so this is directed by Aaron and Sean Shoke, who do all the Bat and the Sun verses. They started working with JDF over a decade ago when they did the Superpower Beatdown. I believe the first one they did was Ryu versus the Green Ranger. And then they got together and did Scorpion versus the White Ranger. And then they did the My Morphin Life. It was basically like a docu-series about JDF going to cons and things. I believe it's on Tubi now. It might still be on YouTube. But yeah, several people are in this movie. David Ramsey, who played Diggle on Arrows in it. Jason Font, who was Wes from Time Force. Serena Vincent, who was the Yellow Ranger in Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. Sierra Hanna, who was, I believe she was the Yellow Ranger in Megaforce. His daughter Jenna is in it as well. So I am crossing my fingers, and I really hope this movie comes out. I think I gave like 150 or something like that. I wasn't like on the high tier. I was just like super low, just because I'm always very wary of Kickstarters and whatnot. So, and that's mainly because I got screwed over. I'm sorry, I'm bringing it up. Some of the Power Rangers, they did a Kickstarter about roughly 15, 16 years ago, maybe even, well, anywhere between 10 and 15 years ago. They did they were going to do their own movie. It was called The Order. So basically starred a bunch of people from Power Rangers throughout the years. Mighty Morphin, Turbo CO, Time Force, Wild Force, so on and so forth. And it was an action movie. And I think I put like $200 into that, and cue the crickets. So yeah, but at least with Legend of the White Dragon, they were always posting behind the scenes featurettes and keeping you updated, whatnot. So yeah, August 28th. So hopefully, we actually get that release, because like I said, I really want to see this. All right, my next story is in regards to something that just happened in comic books, and the Spider-Man subreddit all lost their shit last week because they decided to spoil it, because the issue just came out this week. So there is currently a crossover going on in Spider-Man and Venom. It's called Death Spiral. Basically deals with a guy named Torment, who is a serial killer. He is he's kind of like Death in Final Destination Bloodlines, where he takes out your whole family. Like, it could be like your second cousin, or like your second cousin, like through marriage or something like that. And he's slowly taking out Peter and Eddie's family lines, and he killed Paul. So like, the internet lost their shit. Everybody was dancing like everybody at the end of the Wiz when the Queen died. A lot of people don't like Paul. I don't feel any type of way about him whatsoever. So I'm going to give you guys the backstory on Paul Rabin. So Paul Rabin is the son of one of Spider-Man's villains. He was trying to stop his father from doing whatever he did. This was maybe 6 years ago, so it's out of my brain. But Peter, MJ, and Paul end up in an alternate universe where, well, I think Paul is actually from that universe. I can't remember. And Paul's like, we got to figure out a way to stop my father, blah, 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 blah. The portal to get back to 616 opens. He pushes Peter out, and Paul is stuck there with MJ. So at first, these two Paul doesn't hate MJ, but MJ hates Paul, and they end up working together, foraging for food, things like that, trying to survive in this post-apocalyptic world. They come across these two kids. Meanwhile, Peter is freaking out. Everybody's trying to help him, calm down and whatnot. And he's trying to figure out a way to get back to that dimension to get MJ, because at the end of Nick Spencer's run, Peter and MJ got back together. Well, it was looking that way. But Marvel editorial doesn't want those two to be together. Go see Spider-Man. Brand New Day for that. Almost said No Way Home. One More Day, actually. Brand New Day is the after effect of One More Day. One More Day is actually on the show. So the only person who decides to help Peter is Norman Osborn, of all people, because Norman Osborn has turned over a new leaf. He's decided to be a good guy. Something with his sins and then being sucked out of his body. A bunch of comic book stuff. So takes them 3 months to figure out a way to get this portal open. They do it, but in the dimension that Paul's from, it's been 3 years. So her and Paul are together, and everybody lost their shit. So I don't know if you go check out the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer and see how many people ask, yo, is that fucking Paul with MJ? So yeah, they were together. They recently broke up once MJ revealed that she is the new Venom. And so Torment is going after Eddie's entire family. He pretty much took out all of Peter's Aunt May's side of the family. He killed a bunch of Rileys. He killed a bunch of Brocks. He just killed Eddie's father. So he was going after Dylan, who was left with Dylan is Eddie's son, by the way, who was left with MJ and Paul. Also, Eddie has the Carnage symbiote, who has figured out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man and is basically doing stuff behind the scenes when Eddie is asleep, the same way the symbiote would hijack Peter's body whenever he was asleep. And he told Torment who Peter was and whatnot. And so Paul went out like a G trying to save Dylan. Dylan didn't die, but Paul did, allegedly. I'm going to wait for this crossover to finish to see if Paul is dead, because if he isn't, I am going to laugh at everybody who was cheering his death. I don't care if I get downvoted on Reddit and so on and so forth. But yo, It's comic book shit. So yeah, Paul is dead for now. But Paul, nobody stays dead in comics with the exception of Uncle Ben. Johnny Storm was dead for a year. Batman was dead for a year. Superman was dead for like a year and some change. Um, Even though Paul is a minor character, I really feel like they're going to bring him back just to piss off the toxic Spider-Man fandom. And if they do, I will laugh my ass off all the way to the comic book store, which I just went to today. Go check out the reel I just posted on Instagram a couple days ago about somebody saying that, people who say in the comics aren't true comic book fans. Motherfucker, I just spent $88 on comics that are sitting over there on my footrest. Speaking of which, anybody want a copy of Spider-Man Superman? I bought some off of Midtown just because sometimes my comic book store fucks up my shit. So I didn't think they were going to put the books in my pull list, but they did. So I got a Jim Lee Spider-Man Superman. If anybody wants it, I'm actually going to clip this and just hit me up on the DM on Instagram at Angry Blerd Pod or even TikTok. Whoever responds first, as long as you're in the continental U.S., I will literally ship this to you via post office because they need the money. Anyway, my next story is in regards to something I brought up a couple episodes ago, roughly 2 or 3 episodes ago, about the grandson of the creator of Reese's saying that, hey, this shit is ass now. It don't taste like chocolate and peanut butter. I taste nothing but chemicals and oil. So Hershey's folded. Hershey says that they will use the classic recipes for all Reese's products starting next year. So that makes me very excited because I am a fan of Reese's. I am not going to hold off a year. I actually have a share size bag of the Reese's Oreo collab. Yeah, that's a collab because I believe Oreo is still owned by Nabisco. And I have the peanut butter Oreos. I mean, not Oreos. Well, those aren't Reese's Pieces. The peanut butter M&Ms, which I think are better than Reese's Pieces. Don't hate me. I'm just saying, like Reese's Pieces, it's just not a perfect combo of chocolate and peanut butter. Like the shell is too fucking thin in my opinion. But yeah, so classic Reese's coming back next year. Hopefully they don't try to like label it as classic Reese's like what Coke did with the 80s with Coke and New Coke. Trailer reactions to the new trailers for Supergirl and Masters of the Universe. Supergirl is still looking good. I'm glad we got to see a little bit more of what the story is about. Basically, Crypto gets poisoned and Kara has to get the cure from the guys who poisoned him. She has 3 days, and that leads to all the shenanigans that she gets into for the most part. Jason Momoa looks good as Lobo. Not complaining about that. It should have been Lobo from Jump Street. I told Jason Momoa this to his face. 12 years ago at Florida SuperCon in 2014, I believe the only person left alive who can corroborate this doesn't live in Florida anymore. And we're not really close because she said some very hurtful things about Jessica's passing because Jessica used to date her ex who passed away last year, who I originally, had some beef with because he was one of those dudes like when me and her broke up like 10, 15 years ago who couldn't understand the fact that, you can still be friends with your ex. Even though we did get back together like 3 years later or something. I don't remember, but yeah, she was at SuperCon, but she had a booth. But she wasn't there when I told him, but I told him, and he came over to the booth when I took him a drawing that she did of Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones. So, Masters of the Universe Revelation. We got a little bit more of Eternia because people were complaining about that. And we finally got to hear Jared Leto's Skeletor voice. Sounds a little bit too much like Bane to me, honestly. I was like, where the fuck does that sound? Why does that sound familiar? And I was like, you think that darkness is your ally? I was born in it, molded by it. I never saw the light until I was a man. Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, Masters of the Universe looks good. Supergirl is July 31st. I believe it's the same day as Spider-Man Brand New Day. And He-Man, is it called He-Man in the Masters of the Universe, or is it just Masters of the Universe? I can't even remember at this point, but that will be out June 5th. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna drink some more of my Tiger's Blood. Well, I'm actually gonna drink my Tiger's Blood. I can't drink some more because I didn't open it yet. So yeah, I'm gonna have some Tiger's Blood, and y'all can listen to this ad real quick for Dubby. I gotta buy some more. I am almost out of Tiger's Blood. All right, be right back. This episode is brought to you by Dubby. Dubby gives you focus and energy without the crash and jitters. It has no sugar, fillers, or artificial dyes. Mix one packet or scoop into 8 or 12 ounces of water. Stir or shake well. Some powderiness is normal, and it has all the important vitamins. So this has vitamin C, B3, B6, and B12. And it's made from coffee fruit extract. So drink it and go conquer a task, and go to debbie.gg and use my promo code Angry Blerd 10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. That's debbie.gg with promo code Angry Blerd 10. All right, I'm back. So yeah, these are all the comics I went and picked up. So this is the Superman Spider-Man that is up for grabs. I got the Jorge Jimenez standard variant, and who is this? This is Mikhail Janin. I don't know how to say his last name. Ultimate Endgame 2, Ultimate 21. It's Luke Cage, the last issue of Ultimate Spider-Man in it. The Fall of Ultraman, written by Kyle Higgins and Matt Groom. Ultimate Wolverine 14. Static Beyond issues, what? Did I not get issue 4? Because this is 3, 5, 2. I guess I didn't grab issue 4. No, I didn't. I picked up the end of Charlemagne the God Presents Illuminati. Ultimate Endgame issue 3. I gotta read this to see who dies before it gets spoiled for me. I really gotta start making sure I pick these books up in order, because this Power Rangers Prime 12, 13, and 15. Where's 14, Bernard? Probably still in your pull box, unless you grabbed it 2 weeks ago. Let me get this comic. I don't want to ruin it and run it over. All right. So my next story is about a franchise that people love, and that's Dexter Resurrection. So, season 2 of Dexter Resurrection, we've got a cast reveal. And none other than Brian Cox will be joining the show as Frank Drant, a.k.a. the New York Ripper. So, the New York Ripper was one of the first people that Peter Dinklage's character got associated with as far as serial killers goes. I cannot remember Dinklage's character's name, but it doesn't matter because he's dead anyway. The character is described as a serial killer who terrorized the city years ago. Though no longer active as the killer, he's found a new way to live in his infamy by continuing to conquer survivors of his long ago murder spree. That is the most diabolical shit ever. Hey, remember me when I killed your fucking cousin in 1982? It was a cold winter day. The snow was fresh and the Knicks lost. That's fucked up. So I can't wait for that to come back. Hopefully that comes back sometime this year, because when the fuck was season 1 of Resurrection? Was that last year? I can't even remember, man. Time be a blur sometimes. Next story is in regards to a franchise that I never watched. I never read. It was on TV for 2 years. I don't know much about it besides that, kids turn into animals, and that is Animorphs. So Ryan Coogler is bringing that back for Disney Plus through Proximity Media. So a statement came out through Entertainment Weekly. It said the Oscar-winning filmmaker is executive producing an Animorphs TV series currently in early development at Disney Plus. Coogler will serve as an executive producer alongside Proximity Media partners Seb Ohanian and Zinzi Coogler, with Laura Luchis and Caitlin Fairchild executive producing for Scholastic. The children's book publisher is the original distributor of the K.A. Applegate's 54 youth sci-fi series, initially published between 1996 and 2001. The Testaments in the Summer I Turned Pretty scribe Brian Wolcott has been attached to write and executive produce the series for 20th Century Television. Proximity Media Simone Harris, Vice President and Head of TV, Denzi Galagos, who is the Director of TV Development, will oversee the project. The show official logline reads Animorphs follows a group of teenagers who uncover the hidden threat lurking beneath their everyday lives, all while juggling relationships, curfews, and chaos of high school. So yeah, never read the books, never watched it because between 98 and 2000, my dad was being cheap. He was like, we don't need no goddamn cable. So yeah, I don't really know. I just know like there's like an alien invasion or something like that. So I'm just looking at the plot summary on Wikipedia. It says the story revolves around 5 teenage humans: Jake, Marco, Cassie, Rachel, Tobias. I'm sorry, 5 teenagers. 4 human, 1 is an alien, nicknamed X, who obtain the ability to transform into any animal they touch, nicknaming themselves Animorphs, which is basically a play on animal morphers. They use their abilities to battle a secret infiltration of Earth by a parasitic race of aliens resembling large slugs called Yeerks that can take any living creature as a host by entering and merging with their brain through their ear canal. The Animorphs fight as a guerrilla force against the Yeerks, who are led by Vesser 3, who uses an anodite, which is a centaur-like race of aliens which X belongs to as a host. So, yeah, never read them. I'll see if I can find them on the 7 Seas because YA novels ain't really my thing. And I know someone's like, motherfucker, you read comic books. You can read some YA books. I can, but do I really want to read 54 fucking books? Bro, they wrote 54 Animorph books. How long were these books, like, on average, like, the page count? Let me see if I can find this real quick.
5 minutes later.
There is no page count. Yeah. No page count. On Wikipedia. Oh, they did graphic novels as well? Oh, they actually came out, like, 6 years ago. They started, apparently. There's something new every day. All right. So, this hit the internet, like, yesterday. Recording this on a Saturday afternoon. And this is in regards to season 3 of Daredevil Born Again. And I'm like, okay. So we're doing this. As we know, Kirsten Ritter has returned as Jessica Jones for season 2 of Daredevil Born Again, but it looks like Mike Coulter is back. Shout out Mike Coulter. But that motherfucker Finn Jones is back for some reason. Why is Finn Jones back? I know I'm not tripping because I watched Iron Fist, like both seasons. Did I rewatch season 2 before Daredevil Born Again, or did I just watch Daredevil, the first seasons of all the shows, respectfully, and Defenders? But I'm not tripping. I know he gave up the Iron Fist to Colleen because I think he was using guns like at the last thing they showed. But yeah, why is Finn Jones here? I'm gonna look this up real quick because this is gonna bug me. All right, let me go back to Wikipedia. Iron Fist. All right, Marvel's Iron Fist, 2017, 2018. All right, Iron Fist season 2. I need to go to. All right. All right, in pain of inner family, Davos flees back to his childhood and pursued by Wing. Also in pain, Ryan Walker waits for Davos to return. All right, with Davos arrested, Rand is unsure of his purpose in life. Wing prepares to protect the streets of Chinatown as a new Iron Fist. I know I went tripping. While Joy attempts to return to her normal life, Walker, considering the possibility of another more violent identity, decides to stay affiliated with Joy in her influence. Ward attempts to reconcile with Bethany, but she chooses to raise their child on her own. Rand decides to leave New York to find Orson Randall, the man from whom Davos acquired the Iron Fist corpse. Ward travels with them, and months later, Rand has stolen 2 guns from Randall, with which he can form Iron Fist. Okay, so I guess they're going to have Danny using Orson Randall's guns to channel the Iron Fist. Because if he's lit up like literally glowing fist, I'm like, they better write that shit to make it make sense. But yeah. And Finn, I know you're not gonna watch this, but Finn, you better be in the goddamn you better be in the studio doing all the fucking fight choreography. I don't want to hear shit about you not wanting to do this, and this. No, get your ass in there because that was one of the main things about season 1. Like, choreography was ass. It was like some basic, like, introduction to karate type shit. So no, we ain't having that this time around, okay? You at Marvel now. You ain't at Netflix no more. You at Marvel. Get it together. All right. Anyway, I got comic previews for stuff that's coming out in June. So for Boom Studios, I don't have much. I just have one. So we are getting a relaunch of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers book with Marguerite Bennett on the writing. Andrew Lee Griffith will be drawing. This is going to be 24 pages, $4.99. That will be out June 3rd. Synopsis is a new uniform for a new era. The future is now with this visionary relaunch of the globally acclaimed Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series. It's been 10 years since the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers turned in their morphers and went their separate ways. But now they've been called back to the legendary command center to face a new terrifying form of a familiar foe, Rita Repulsa. They may not be teenagers with attitude anymore, but are they still the same heroes they once were? So New York Times bestselling comic book writer Marguerite Bennett, who wrote Bombshells and Batwoman, jumps into the command center, joined by industry veteran artist Andrew Lee Griffith, who worked on Transformers and G.I. Joe, to usher in a new era of Power Rangers, making it perfect for new readers and longtime fans alike. So yeah, I literally just added this to my pull list when I went to the comic book store yesterday. I like Jim Chung. He's doing the covers. They decided not to give Pink Ranger a skirt. I guess because she is a grown woman now. She is not a teenager with attitude, like the description says. I don't know how I feel about the extra 2 diamonds, like where the pecs are. I don't know, but I'm still gonna buy the book. It's just like, I guess you gotta change it up a little bit to show that like they've grown up, I guess. But I don't know. So I'm really sick and tired of solicitations doing advanced solicits because they also put out the Power Rangers art of Dan Mora, but that's not coming out till August. But I would definitely be buying that as well. But I am not going to be talking about that just now. So, for Image, because the Energon universe is expanding and Robert Kirkman is trying to take all my fucking money. m.a.s.k, a cartoon that I did not watch as a child. Mobile Armored Strike Command. Let me actually see when this show started. How long it went on. Because this show was on for 1 season and it came out before I was even born. So I don't know really much about m.a.s.k. Besides like it was 2 seasons actually. But yeah, didn't watch it. I know of it just because of like, it's one of those things that like you probably saw reruns, but I don't recall watching this at all. So this is going to be part of the Energon universe alongside Void Rivals, G.I. Joe, and Transformers. This will be written by Dan Waters with art by Pi Par. It's going to be $4.99. Comes out on June 3rd. All right, so it says, new series in the next phase of the Energon universe starts here. The world is becoming a terrifying place. Matt Tracker needs your help saving it. Enter m.a.s.k, a network of specialists recruited to respond to the next global emergency. At a moment's notice, Tracker and his agents can deploy bleeding-edge technology that converts their vehicles and their drivers into the ultimate weapon. But Miles, Mayhem, and Venom are one step ahead in a secret arms race, scouring the globe for deadly weapons from this planet and beyond, ready to sell out the entire human race. Only m.a.s.k can stop them, but will Tracker's own secrets jeopardize? But will Tracker's own secrets jeopardize their entire mission. Powerhouse creators Dan Waters and Pi Par launched the most anticipated new series of the year, where anyone in the Energon universe must join the fight for humanity's survival. This is the first ever Energon universe blind bag. Wait, they never did any blind bags for like Void Rivals, Transformers, or G.I. Joe? I don't know. All right, also from Image, not part of the Energon universe, but it is Energon related, and that is the Transformers, the movie 40th anniversary edition. I believe this is a reprint, or honestly don't know. So this will be out on June 3rd. It is $3.99, so it says miniseries premiere. Celebrate the 40th anniversary of the movie that defined a generation, which I just watched last year for the first time in my life. Experience this new printing of the limited series adapting one of the most iconic films of all time, the Transformers, the movie. When Optimus Prime and Megatron wage their final battle on Earth, from the ashes rises a whole new beginning for the Autobots and Decepticons that is truly more than meets the eye. Represented in deluxe newsprint. This is the comic book celebration that no Transformers fan can miss. So yeah, like I said, I just watched that movie for the first time in my life. It was either last year or 2024. Shout out to Bowden and my Power Ranger group. We all got together and watched that. Very dark movie. I knew Optimus Prime died just because 20 years ago when VH1 was still a good network, I watched all their it wasn't necessarily reality TV. I don't know what you would call it. Infotainment, I guess, because they did like the I Love the Decade. So like I Love the 80s, the 90s, and so forth. And that was like one of the things that was brought up, like the Transformers movie, and like how damn near every Autobot you watched growing up on the cartoon got murked, primarily Optimus Prime. So yeah. Okay, so now we're going into DC. I talked about this one as single issues, and I just actually brought it up because I picked up issue 2, 3, and 5. Batman Static Beyond. So this will be coming out in August. Once again, why are we doing the super advanced illicits? It's going to be $17.99. It's 168 pages. I will talk about that when August comes around. Anyway. The summer Supergirl special, like a lot of people lost their shit about this one because DC, they've been doing the summer Superman, and everybody's like, oh, why the fuck are they doing the summer Supergirl? It's the summer Superman. It's because the movie's coming out. Simple as that. All right, written by Sophie Campbell, Mark Waid, and Gail Simone, with art by Belen Ortega, Cian Tormey, and Emma Cooper. Emma Cooper? Who the fuck is Emma Cooper? Andy or Adam's daughter? Or Joe's daughter? Because Andy and Adam are Joe Kubert's sons. I've never heard of Emma Cooper, so I guess this is the first thing that she is drawing. Anyway, June 24th, $5.99, 48 pages. Synopsis is: the quiet town of Midvale is shaken up when Supergirl finds herself face to face with the galactic bounty hunter Lobo. Can the maiden of Mike stand up to the main man? Plus 2 backup stories celebrating Supergirl as she resumes her rightful place as the heir to the House of L. So yeah, sounds very Supergirl movie related. Yeah. All right, something else from DC. Supergirl survived. So this is an Elseworld story, and as I told you guys, I like Elseworld stories just because it gives like a fresh alternate take on the character. Like I freaked out when I saw that what was it, Superman Man of Yesterday thing where Jor-El is the one who went to Earth instead of baby Kal-El. So this is written by Ethan Parker and Griffin Sheridan with art by Rod Rice. It's going to be 40 pages, $4.99. Comes out June 3rd. All right. Kara Zor-El lives a life of small problems. How are you supposed to hold a floppy little baby like her new cousin Cal? Who should she ask to the spring formal? And when will her father and her uncle Jor-El stop squabbling? But the planet Krypton has big problems, like the militaristic dictator Zod ruthlessly crushing dissent and threatening to unleash the planet's most dangerous weapon on the opposition. But when things boil over and Krypton begins to burn, Kara and her infant cousin find themselves trapped together in a prototype rocket, struggling to survive in a hostile universe that doesn't care if they live or die and might prefer the latter. Breakout writers Ethan Parker and Griffin Sheridan, who are Eisner Award nominees for the book Kill Your Daughters, joined visionary artist Rod Rise to tell the new story of teenage Kara and infant Cal sent on their journey through the stars together, not apart. And that is as long as Kara can keep them alive. I like Rod Rice. Cover looks cool. That's what caught my eye. I'm like, okay, this looks very like if Star Trek met like the DC universe. And for some reason, Rod Rice drew Zod looking like Ra's al Ghul. I was like, wait, Ra's al Ghul in space? So nah. Yeah, I'm gonna check that one out. I already brought this one up multiple times because for some reason DC keeps bringing it up or pushing it back because I think I brought it up in May's solicits. Absolute Catwoman will be written by Chi Grayson and Scott Schneider with art and covers by Bingo. It's going to be $4.99, 6-issue miniseries. Issue 1 comes out June 10th. Selena Kyle carved a good life for herself through her ingenuity and skills. She's become the greatest thief the world has ever known. With high-tech gear and weaponry, there's no place too secure for Catwoman. Selena has built a life for herself and thoroughly escaped Gotham, but when someone from her past comes knocking at her door, Selena's life comes crashing down around her. She'll need to get to the bottom of a mystery taking her all around the globe. So yeah, checking that out. I'm gonna get the Kari Andrews variant if I can in the Bingo cover. All right, so that's it for DC. Now let's jump into Marvel. So this is Avengers Armageddon. This is a 5-issue miniseries kicking off on June 3rd. It's going to be 32 pages, $5.99. It says Armageddon has arrived. Red Hulk's devastating tear across the globe must be stopped, but it will take a colossal gathering of Earth's mightiest heroes to do it, calling the Avengers, Fantastic Four, Wolverine, and more. But who will survive the superpower cataclysm? There will be a pre-Armageddon Marvel Universe and a post-Armageddon Marvel Universe. Be here to witness the transformation. So are we just doing World War Hulk with Thunderbolt Ross? I guess. I don't know, but I'm gonna check it out. I gotta read Captain America because that is part of the Road to Armageddon, as well as a Wolverine miniseries called Road to Armageddon. So, Spider-Man: Long Way Home. This is written by Jonathan Hickman with art by Adam Kubert, possibly Emma's brother or father. 30 pages, $5.99. This will go on sale June 17th. A dark homecoming awaits. It's a world before the Punisher, a world where the existence of the Hulk is but a whisper of a rumor, a world where AIM has developed a cosmic cube in the jungles of South America. Frank Castle, Bruce Banner, and Peter Parker are all on a mission to keep the cube out of the wrong hands, including each other. And this three-way for all, for the power of the cosmos, who will come out on top? So, just happened to do a book with the word home in it right before a brand new day comes out. Suspicious? Maybe. All right, so this is the Just Spectacular collection. This is a collection of art by J. Scott Campbell. So it's just his art. It's a 48-page one-shot. It's going to be on sale on June 3rd. It's $5.99. So it says your favorite heroes and villains, illustrated by the incomparable J. Scott Campbell across 28 eye-catching variant covers. Features Black Cat, Black Panther, Black Widow, Captain America, Carnage, Cyclops, Daredevil, Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider, Ghost Spider, Hulk, Venom, Human Torch, Iron Man, Magic, Mary Jane Watson, Nova, Psylocke, Rogue, She-Hulk, both Spider-Man, Storm, Thanos, Thor, Venom, and a pair of Wolverines, all rendered in iconic poses in the unmistakable style of one of the greatest cover artists in the biz. Plus Campbell's crisp pencils and inks, art feature and behind the scenes artwork, and the comic book superstar shares insights on his incredible career at Marvel in the process behind assembling these covers into one spectacular montage. So J. Scott Campbell was actually supposed to work on a miniseries, like I want to say like 15, 20 years ago for Marvel, and for some reason they got scrapped. Like, he doesn't do interiors anymore, and I'd really like to know the reason why. So I would like to go to a convention where he's at, get like my Danger Girl hardcover signed and some Spider-Man variants, and like paperbacks and be like, "Oh man, why don't you do interiors anymore?" And what the fuck ever happened with Wildsiders? That was the last thing I think I read that he drew the interiors on. Like I think like 2 issues came out. So this was a book from DC in their Wildstorm imprint, like 2005, 2006, about this kid who found a way to like basically like make holograms with like for people who were amputees. And he ended up using it to like give all like they weren't even like someone weren't even his friends. It was like people he went to school with, like dinosaur powers and shit. And I think like 2 issues came out, but that book was actually like surprisingly good. In like DC in like the 2000s, I don't know what the fuck they were doing with all their imprints. Because I talked about the whole Jim Lee, Grant Morrison, Wildcats 1 issue coming out, and that was it. So yeah, what the fuck ever happened to Wildsiders? Jay, answer the question. And speaking of Jays, still from Marvel, Jay and Silent Bob. Jay's a Futures Past. So this is going to be a one-shot written by Kevin Smith and Steve Fox, with art by Giuseppe Camacolo and Sylvian Espin. This goes on sale on June 10th. It's going to be $4.99, 32 pages. And synopsis is, Doom decrees the dim-witted duo must die. Captain America, Jay, and friendly neighborhood Spider-Man Wider. Oh, friendly neighborhood Wider-Man. Oh, okay. So I fucked up. So I thought like when I copied this over, like it tried to autocorrect. So it said Capt, Tan America J, and friendly neighborhood Wider-Man Silent Bob make a quick stop to the Marvel Universe. But when Dr. Doom decrees these Jersey guys must die, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, and the X-Men and a whole hoary host of heroes must team up on a joint mission to save the dim-witted duo from a lethal case of superhero fatigue. So, from the moment in Mallrats when they made their very first appearance to Wolverine in cinematic history, I've always wanted Jay and Silent Bob to meet their Marvel heroes in a comic book crossover, so much that I pitched it to Stan the Man himself the day he shot his cameo in the movie back in 1995. 30 years later, Jay's A Future Past represents a love letter to the magic and mayhem of Marvel, as well as a giggle-inducing proof that childhood dreams can come true even at the age of 55. So that is from Kevin Smith. Hold on a second. So yeah, I'm going to get that. Hopefully one day I can get it signed by Kevin Smith or Jason Mewes. Hell, even both. All right. There's a lot of X-Men books out there, so here's another one, another miniseries. So this is Bishop. It's going to be a 5-issue miniseries written by Saladin Ahmed with art by Mario Santoro, 32 pages, $4.99. Goes on sale on June 10th. So it says the time lost X-Men is back. Bishop has always lived by a strict code, but that code will be called into question when his sister Shard is sent to the present right before she died. Wait, what? Will Bishop adhere to his principles and protect the time stream, or will he risk it all to save the most important person in his life? Superstar writer Saladin Ahmed will put the tough as nails mutant through the ringer. Yeah, fuck that. Save your sister. That's all I got to say about that. So as I was telling you guys, I like alternate stories, alternate universe stories. So What If is coming back this year. We got our first 2 coming out in June. So there's What If Thor. This is going to be written by Torin Goenbrink. I don't know how to say that because I don't know what Torin's nationality is. Maybe Norwegian, but Torin has the O with the slash in it in her name. With art by Sergio Davila. So 32 pages, $4.99, goes on sale June 7th. What if Thor got Spider-Man symbiote? Amid the chaos, there comes a costume, but not for the hero. Legend has it that bonding with the symbiote suit made Thor mightier, but what shadows lurking in the Tim realms will take such an interest in such a powerful pairing? So yeah, I'm going to check that one out. What If Uncanny X-Men #1, written by Gary Dugan with art by Jan Basaluda. 32 pages. Once again, it's a one-shot, $4.99. This one goes on sale on June 3rd. What if Cyclops had stayed with Madeline Pryor? Imagine a world where Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen, had survived the Inferno. What would have happened if Cyclops had saved her soul? What would have happened if he and Maddie raised their son, Nathan Summers? What would that world look like? And why would that be the most terrible thing to happen to mutantdom and Earth itself? So yeah, because Madeline is a little crazy. If you don't know that from X-Men 97, I don't know what to tell you. All right. So, kind of nerd related, but y'all gonna be like, huh? Why? Those of you who don't know who this guy is, I'm gonna give you a little bit of breakdown. So this story is in regards to Darren Henson. So Darren Henson is an actor, choreographer, dancer. He was in several movies, TV shows. He was on Soul Food. He was in Stomp the Yard, something called Black Coffee, Chocolate City. He was in the Tekken movie. Who the fuck was he in the Tekken movie? Oh, he was Raven. Okay. Wait, he was in Long Shot? Oh, wow. I kind of rewatched Long Shot. Double Platinum, Lincoln Heights, Being Mary Jane. I got a story to tell. So, Darren Henson is suing Sony for alleging unlicensed use for a very famous dance that he came up with in the late 90s, early 2000s, and that is the choreography for Bye Bye Bye. So I'm reading this from Complex. It said the creator behind one of pop's most recognizable dance routines is taking legal action over its recent resurgence in film and gaming. Darren Henson, who choreographed NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye, has filed a lawsuit against Sony Music Holdings, alleging the company allowed his work to be used without his approval in projects like Deadpool and Wolverine, and of course the video game Fortnite. According to the complaint, which was filed on March 27th in federal court, Henson claims that he is the rightful owner of the choreography and Sony lacked the authority to license it. The routine, known for its puppet string inspired moves, became a defining part of early 2000s pop culture and earned Henson an MTV VMA for Best Choreography in 2000. More than 2 decades later, it has found new life through viral moments, most notably the opening credits of Deadpool and Wolverine. But Henson argues that renewed visibility has come without proper recognition. In the filing, he alleges the choreography has been used and rebranded in various ways to disconnect it from its original creator. Now the routine, widely associated with the film's character rather than its origins, he also claims that others, including Nick Parley, who performed the dance in the film, sorry guys, if you didn't know, that wasn't Ryan Reynolds actually dancing, are benefiting from the work while he has not received credit or compensation. So beyond the film, the choreography has appeared in several in-game as an in-game emote in Fortnite, further expanding the reach across platforms. Neither Marvel nor Epic Games is named as a defendant in the lawsuit, which focuses on Sony's role and licensing the work. At the heart of the case is a dispute over ownership. Henson maintains that he created the choreography independently in 1999 for NSYNC's first live performance of Bye 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 and never signed a work-for-hire agreement which would transfer the rights. He argues that Sony's claim to the choreography stems from his ownership of the music video. That company failed to properly account for his creative work when securing its copyrights. After attempting to resolve the issue privately, Henson is now seeking declaratory judgment from the court to formally establish his ownership and recover any profits generated from the choreography's recent use. So he said that the complaint says that the reality is that the work belongs to Henson, which emphasizes his effort to gain full recognition and financial restitution tied to the routine's continued success. So I'm going to go into this as a 13, 14-year-old between the years of 99 and 2000. So as far as I know, Darren Henson did create the choreography. I don't know anything about him not selling, signing off for work for hire. But if you grew up in the MTV generation, which I'm sure like a lot of people who listen to this podcast did, if you recall, there once upon a time was a infomercial of Darren's Best Dance Grooves. Let me look this up. I want to get the name right because Darren released a video of him teaching people how to do the dance moves for all the choreography for the music videos that he did. So it was Bye Bye Bye, I'm sorry, it's Darren's dance grooves. It's not Darren's best dance grooves. So it's like bye bye bye. Britney Spears, you drive me crazy. Let me see if I can actually find, because I'm going to put the commercial in after I'm done talking about this, because it's like an hour and 5 minutes. Oh, apparently this also got released on DVD. And thank you, Amazon, for not having any type of description on this whatsoever. It just says Darren's Dance Grooves import. Okay, so I actually found a Reddit post that talks about it. So it says, now you can learn the hottest moves of your favorite artist from the man who created it all. Darren's Dance Grooves features some of today's biggest stars performing Darren's incredible routines, including Britney Spears' Crazy, NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye, Jordan Knight Give It To You, plus you'll get the exclusive step to NSYNC's Digital Get Down as performed live on tour. Bonus, you'll also get never before seen in-depth look into the secrets of the popular street technique known as locking and popping. Information that you can't find anywhere else. Darren Henson is one of the world's leading choreographers. Now he's showing you how to dance like your favorite artist. Darren breaks down the moves step by step and allows you to progress at your own pace. Whether you are a seasoned professional, an aspiring dancer, or just want to bust out a move at home, Darren's Dance Grooves is perfect for you. So looking at some of the comments on Reddit, I really wish I bought this. So it said, somebody said, I was so mad my mom wouldn't let me buy this when I was a kid. The Jordan Knight one is aggressively the most millennial The Jordan Knight one is the most aggressively millennial choreography. I think you're legally required to wear a turtleneck and sweater while doing that dance. The Bye 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 dance is handy at weddings. The actual DVD was ripped and somebody posted it to YouTube, so he might go after them if you want. Fuck it. I'm gonna post a link to it on the description for this timestamp. But yeah, Darren's Dance Grooves. I remember seeing that infomercial all on TV. And, I really wanted to get it, but my dad was like, nah, you ain't dancing.
Do you wonder where Britney Spears or NSYNC got their moves? Here's your chance to get the inside look at how it's done. With Darren's Dance Grooves, the new video that breaks down the moves and shows you how to do them step by step.
We step back on our right leg and then move forward.
He is definitely the best choreographer of all time.
His unique street-style dance steps have been featured in music videos, award shows, and concerts seen around the world.
Dancing's all about having fun. Now you can get down with my new video. Ain't no lie.
Now these fresh moves are available for you to learn on Darren's Dance Grooves. Plus, Darren will show you his brand new pop and lock routine.
I break it down so you can learn the dances at your own speed.
When you're watching this choreography, you just want to get up and do it with them.
Darren's Dance Grooves is not sold in any store.
This is going to be the hottest video you've ever seen.
To order, call the number on your screen or log on to MusicSpace.com. Must be 18 or older to call or log on.
Anyway, so my next story is in regards to Sterling K. Brown, basically talking about Paradise and, people saying, hey, why aren't there more than, 8 episodes or whatever? And I could have sworn like this was common knowledge, but I guess it isn't. So he made a post on Instagram basically saying that cable and streamers don't make money on more episodes, but network TV does. Network is all about advertisers. The more shows you have, the more ads you can run, the more money you make. Premium cable and streamers make their money off subscribers. So it's not about how many shows that you have. It's about how many new shows that you have that make people want to subscribe to your platform. So if they did more episodes, they wouldn't necessarily get new subscribers. But if they come with something that's new and shiny and it makes people say, "Ooh, I want to see that," then they're building their subscriber base. The only thing that could change is if fans actually stop subscribing and mandate that these platforms make longer seasons. But I don't think that's going to happen. So yeah, I've been saying this for like over a decade. Like everybody's always been like, why is Stranger Things like 10 episodes? Why is X-Men 97 like 6 episodes? Why is Daredevil Born Again 8 episodes? Because they don't run ads. Well, let me rephrase that. They don't make their money off of ads, really. So they make their money based off of subscriptions. And that's one of the reasons why these subscription platforms increase their price like every 2 to 4 years or whatever. Unless you're Netflix, you do it like every 18 months. So that's why Netflix, although Netflix has an ad tier, I don't think they're showing ads for like Honey Bunches of Oats. And I was actually talking to Jared about this yesterday because we were talking about this. I'm like, I thought this was common knowledge, and he was like, yeah, I get that, but Prime has the rights to Thursday Night Football. I'm like, that's different. They have the rights to stream it, but the NBA still has advertisers who they partner with. It's the same thing with WWE being on Netflix for Raw. Like WWE still has those deals with DoorDash and Cricket Wireless, and back in the day like Stacker too, because I can't really think of anybody else who they do ads with, because I like to let Monday Night Raw fester a little bit, so I'll watch it at like 9 so I can just fast forward through the ads. So yeah, that's the reason why streamers only do short seasons, because then you can make more content and you get more people to sign up. And like I said, I really thought this was common knowledge, but I guess it isn't. Anyway, guys, I am going to hit this spoiler alert. So I am going to talk about Daredevil, Born Again, Season 2, Episode 2, Shoot the Moon, which is directed by Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, written by Dario Scotopani. So, this episode starts with Daniel Blake, who's dealing with the guerrilla attacks on Wilson Fisk, which unfortunately for Daniel Blake realizes that the leaks may be coming from his own laptop. So Fisk's AVTF slowly retrieves the arms from the Northern Star, the boat that was sank at the first episode, and Daredevil struggles to think of a way to penetrate Fisk's tightly secured Red Hook facility. Cherry actually survives his heart attack, but the AVTF still wants him dead. So like a lot of his cop friends get him out of the hospital. And Soledad Ayala, Hector's widow, if you recall from season 1, is actually caught up by the AVTF, basically just like taking people out in a bodega. But they leave Angela, who goes to Kirsten, and Kirsten gives Angela Hector's belongings, including the White Tiger ambulance. So as the AVTF continues to terrorize the city, another guerrilla video showcases, their brutality on the city. And after the video, Guy Fawkes Fisk is revealed to be none other than BB herself, which was basically, dude. The task force eventually finds where Matt and Karen are hiding out at the apartment above Josie's, but Matt and Karen also escape. They end up meeting up at Frank's hideout from season 1, and Karen reveals to Matt that she actually captured one of the AVTF agents and has him blindfolded and tied to a chair. I liked this episode. The BB thing was pretty much a dead giveaway from Jump Street. It's like, who the fuck else would it be? If you go back and recall in season 1, where she talked to I can't remember the name of the police chief who hid that Fisk crush. I want to say Powell, but I don't think it was Powell. Let me see if I can find his name real quick. Gallo, Commissioner Gallo. Remember, she told him that everything she writes isn't under her name, and but I don't know what the deal is with Daniel and BB. Like, are they? I get that they're friends, but obviously Daniel wants something more, and it seems like BB might be a little interested in it, but not really. She's trying to keep him at arm's length just because of his relationship with Fisk and whatnot. But it was a dead giveaway that BB was the one wearing that Fisk mask and doing that impersonation. I wonder if she's actually doing an impersonation, or if they have somebody who is like doing like a sound alike of Vincent D'Onofrio, or if Vincent D'Onofrio is really like dubbing over like the dialogue and whatnot. But very good episode. The fight with the AVTF and Karen actually throat checking that dude with the flashlight and whatnot. We're back, baby. So now I'm going to talk about episode 3, which is The Scales and the Sword. This is directed by Sullivan Naeem, written by Heather Belson. So this episode deals with Kirsten having to defend Jack Duquesne on being the sword master, while she accuses Heather of lying on his psychic exam. And Heather's slowly becoming more unstable, and she becomes, as she becomes an instrument to the oppression of New York by Wilson Fisk. So Jack Duquesne's trial begins, and it is corrupt as everyone thought it would be. He gets found guilty. Fisk is happy about that, but not for long, because the governor of New York has pretty much figured out everything he's doing with because Karen emailed her the information that they found in season 1 about the port being a free port, and he's basically using that to make himself richer. And she's like, yeah, but you own this port. And she's like, yeah, but I put that in a trust before I became mayor. And she's like, yeah, I ain't falling for that shit. Jack is found guilty, and Kirsten is upset about losing the case because she didn't have enough time to strategize with her client, because they basically waited until the last minute to let her see him in Red Hook, and even then she had to go on with the blindfold. So Karen actually shows up in the bar incognito, taps Kristen, tells her to go to the office, where she meets up with Daredevil, and she tells him like how many steps it was until she found like her way around Red Hook, despite the fact that she was blindfolded. So Matt uses that information to sneak in with the card that the ABTF guy who Karen knocked out in the previous episode actually reveals that, yo, I didn't sign up for this shit. So he gives them his security card. And Matt goes looking for evidence, but instead he finds everybody who just has detained unlawfully. So he breaks them all out. Matt and the AVTF Matt and Duquesne take out a bunch of AVTF agents. Angela actually shows up with the white tiger pendant, slashes a few AVTF tires. They actually take like one of the AVTF vehicles and gets everyone out. Powell, who, Matt, whose ass got kicked by Matt in season 1, I want to say episode 2, gives Fisk the news. And Fisk tells Powell to blow up the Northern Star with a bunch of people on board working the night shift who wanted to go home, but he was like, nah, y'all gotta work. So that was a lot in that first episode. And I was like, that third episode, I was like, okay. So it's actually good to see Jack actually get his swordsman on, even though he used a piece of rebarb instead of a sword. Karen, shot someone. Did she kill that guy? I don't know. But this was a good episode as well. So I really just can't wait to see some more. We got, 5 more episodes left of Daredevil Born Again? All right, so now I am going to talk about Invincible, season 4, episode 5. Give Us a Moment, directed by Sol Choi, written by Adria Lane. So picks up right where we left off in the last episode with Nolan and Alan talking to Mark and Eve about, the Viltrumite war and everything that the Council of Planets is working on. Mark reluctantly agrees to join the coalition's war against the Viltrumite. Nolan tells Mark he wants to go see Debbie, but Mark is like, yeah, Dad, that ain't a good idea, but he goes anyway. And she basically tells him to go fuck himself. Meanwhile, Alan decides to track down Tech Jacket, who he recruits to join the cause. And she does. Oliver insists on going as well, despite the fact that Nolan didn't come and see him. And Mark says goodbye to Eve. But before Oliver and Mark leave, they have a family dinner with, it's Eve, Oliver, Mark, Debbie, and Paul. So then the next day, Mark and Oliver join Nolan, Alan, and Zoe as they board the ship. They get ready to head to Telestra. On the way there, they are ambushed by a bunch of Viltrumites. and Mark comes across none other than Conquest. Lucian and Crad. A fight ensues. Zoe is almost killed. Alan, Nolan, and Zoe kind of hold their own. Oliver is almost killed by Conquest, but then Mark comes and they fight. And basically to the death, where Mark suffocates Conquest to the point where I guess he loses oxygen to his brain. And Conquest disembowels Mark. But Alan and Zoe end up hiding on the Viltrumite warship while Lucian and Crad are searching for them. Nolan and Oliver leave Mark behind because he's dead. Thaddeus is talking to Alan's wife, whose name I cannot remember at the moment, but she is the leader of the she is the captain of the ship that I cannot remember at the moment. Thalia. And she tells them, hey, we kind of have to leave everybody behind. And Thaddeus is like, nah, it's time to go to war. Knuckle up. So yeah, very good episode. Once again, an unnecessary gender change. I guess, Kirkman is like, yo, I basically made Invincible sausage fest. So we're going to change Zach into Zoe. So in the book, Tech Jacket is a boy, Zach. And a lot of people are mad about that. And it's not just because of the character change. It's like, yo, Zach kind of does go on an arc in space, but I think everybody wanted to see Zach grow that beard out, bro. The only thing that I'm not a fan of, they might do it later on in the book, spoiler alert, Nolan and Debbie get back together. So like in this, it was like, yo, she just basically said, fuck you, bitch. You called me a fucking pet and you think I'm going to take you back? You think I'm going to fucking forgive you? Nah, get the fuck out of here, bro. So Sandra Oh, who voices Debbie, was actually doing an interview with Dean the Geek talking about the reunion. She said it's a real confrontation on many levels. I remember feeling lucky that JK had already done his lines, so I had his voice already. I also remember weeping through the entire thing. It happened very easily. When you have the ability to play a character for a long time, you don't have to reach that far because you've already said it or you've already lived it. Your character is already in you and it ends up feeling hurt. People are waiting for this moment so you can kind of let it all out. I still don't know how I feel about the change, but going on, Sandra Oh said, I like her snappy resilience. She's no nonsense, but her resilience has real feminine power. Here's a human character and everyone else has a superpower. She's not swayed. She's not intimidated. When you feel hopeless or powerless within larger power structures and things you can't control, Debbie shows how much you can stand firm in what you believe in your deepest humanity. I love that for her. So yeah, I get it, but at the same time, I don't get it. Because they spent 20 years together. I guess I'm not saying look past the genocidal murder and all that stuff, but I really do feel like, I don't know if it's just because I read the comic, I still feel like a part of Debbie still loves Nolan, despite everything he did and calling her a pet. So yeah, I don't really know like what to think of the change just yet. I got to see how the rest of it plays out. So yeah, there's that. All right, so let's talk about They Will Kill You. Directed by Kirill Sokolov, co-written by Kirill Sokolov and Alex Litvak, produced by Andy and Barbara Muschetti. Stars Zazie Beetz, Mahala, Patterson Joseph, Tom Felton, Heather Graham, and Patricia Arquette. This follows the story of a woman who takes a job as a housekeeper in a New York City high-rise, unaware of the building's history of disappearances. Soon she realizes the community is shrouded in mystery. So Asia Reeves is looking for her sister, Maria. We get a flashback of this while they attempt to run away from their abusive father. But they are cornered at a store, and Asia shoots him and is arrested while Maria has custody of him. 10 years jumps by after Maria, after Asia actually gets a job at the Virgil. which is a high-rise building in New York, posing as a new maid. She is greeted by Lilith Woodhouse, who is Patricia Arquette. She also tells Asia that the building is 100 years old and occupied by the wealthy and elite. When she is sleeping, she is attacked by several of the elite people, and she fights them off, kills a few of them, and we come to the conclusion that she's actually posing as somebody else. I believe the lady's name is Isabella. I can't remember. So Isabella was actually meant to be a sacrifice for Maria, who is working at the hotel, because it is basically the people in the hotel are in the satanic cult who worship Satan for immortality. And we find that out once Tom Felton and Helga Graham and several other people that she killed come back from the dead. And Ray, who is Lilith's husband, tells her that, he is sick and tired of people dying. He takes her to his sister, and we actually find, and that's when we find out that Maria was actually going to be a sacrifice, but she gave up somebody else to be the sacrifice, and that's the person who Asia took the place of. And sibling issues come up with her being left, and you find out that she learned Asia learned how to fight in prison. They basically make their way through the hotel, and Maria made the deal to give up somebody else so she can have immortality. And they eventually get caught, and they go and basically meet Satan. Is it Satan? I don't remember. Yeah, Satan, who possesses the severed head of a pig to communicate. And you find out you get immortality by having your name written on the head of the pig. Maria actually sacrifices herself, so Asia, who has basically been bruised and beaten and battered to damn near the point of death, is basically immortal and is healed from all of her wounds and takes out everybody, including the severed pig head. You also find out she cuts off the piece of pig skin with her name on it, writes her sister's name on it, which basically revives her sister, and then they go off into the sunrise, and then the roof of the hotel explodes. So 10 out of 10 for me. I really wish more people would see this movie. It's not really doing that well in the box office, and the fact that the Super Mario Bros. Galaxy movie came out this week ain't really helping it at all, because let's see what Ready or Not 2 is at, because wow, that just goes to show you that people like white-led movies more, because Ready or Not 2 has a budget of $14 million. It's already made its budget back and profited with $32.3 million, while They Will Kill You is at a $20 million budget and has only made $12 million. So slightly more expensive budget, but hasn't recouped yet. So yeah, I highly recommend y'all go see this. But I get the appeal of Ready or Not 2. It is a sequel that people were anticipating. But yeah, 10 out of 10 for me. Zazie Beetz did her damn thing. And if you are a goon like Samir, she does spend the first 20 minutes in her underwear. So there you go. That's it for this episode, guys. Next week I will be reviewing episode 4 of Daredevil Born Again, episode 6 of Invincible, and the Super Mario Bros. Galaxy movie. And then the week after that, might be reviewing Ready or Not 2. Depends on if there's anything else coming out the following week. Because I didn't review the first one. I just watched the first one last weekend, and it's actually pretty a good movie. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, guys, peace out. See ya. Bye.